Only you really know all the work you've done. We're canceling Imposter Syndrome 2023. In today's episode of Coffee Chat, we are going over new grad career advice I wish I knew earlier. I'm gonna try to save you some tears, energy, get you some more happiness and joy into your life. And so get cozy, grab a coffee, and let's get started. Today I am drinking a cold brew with some Korean banana milk on top. Don't hate on it if you haven't tried it. The creaminess cuts through the cold brew so perfectly. I love it. Not everybody in the workplace is going to be your friend. I know that's kind of a rude awakening, but I feel like the workplace reminds me a lot of high school in the sense that we're all gathered here for different reasons. We don't really choose the people we hang out with or we work with. You just kind of have to deal with the circumstances. I am a super people person. I love making relationships with people. And so on the bright side, I've met some of my amazing, greatest friends, coworkers, lifelong mentors. But on the flip side, I've also been really traumatized and burnt by relationships and people because not everyone is going to be good people, you know? I was really naive to think that people will see the goodness of me in my heart and take that for what it's worth. So be careful, set boundaries, do not let people step over you, but also don't let bad people change you, because at the end of the day, if you are a good person and you are easy to work with and people like you and you're charismatic and you're kind, people at the workplace are going to remember that. So don't let the haters change the way you act around other people, but just be mindful. Not everybody's gonna have access to you in the way that you give. I think some ways to build authentic relationships with people at work is just the way that you have conversations with them, whether you catch up. And I feel like you can just tell when you just hit it off with someone and you just immediately click. Be kind, be respectful, do good work, and you got this. The next thing is not everybody is at this job or the workplace for the same reasons you are. I feel like a lot of new grads, we go in super eager, like, oh my gosh, I'm starting my career, I'm so ambitious, I have all these things in mind, my dream goals, my dream jobs, all that stuff. And then you get to the workplace, you're trying to get work done, you're passionate about things, and then you just see people who are like slacking, or maybe they're just not fully in it, maybe they're super jaded, maybe they're just here for a paycheck, maybe this is their transition job or their rebound job or whatever it is, or maybe they're just going through a hard time, or maybe they're also just most like go-getter types in the world, but more like they like it, they're cruising, they're just like, this is just a job for them. And so I think figuring that out and reading that situation when it comes to getting frustrated of like, oh, why don't they care more? Or why aren't they helping this project move forward? Or why aren't they being the best leader or manager or all that stuff? I think it helps to put things into perspective of like, okay, maybe they're just not here for the same reasons I am, so I can't take it personally. And don't let that hinder your work. And also, hopefully that doesn't discourage you, but finding allies and mentors or coworkers who are in it for the same reasons you are. Don't get discouraged if you find roadblockers or people who are just like not enthusiastic as you are, because I feel like that's just a workplace, and hopefully that will help you, especially even with your relationship with work and how you see career. Imposter syndrome. I feel like this is such like a buzzword thing to say these days, whether you are a new grad or a minority or whatever it is, but I have this like two-sided relationship with imposter syndrome. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I should just say it because everyone else is saying it, and other times I'm like, no, I don't feel imposter syndrome because I know my work, I deserve to be here. There are certain things that I'm so specialized and have an expertise, especially as a Gen Z marketer, that confidently no one at the entire company would have this kind of experience just because of my age, my social media experience, and I bring that level of confidence in certain things when it comes to specific skill sets. But of course I deal with imposter syndrome when it comes to other things, whether it's presenting or this thing or whatever it is, and that just takes years of experience. Find good mentors, coworkers, and even friends who can really support you in times of imposter syndrome. But I also want you to hone in on your skills, the reason why you're here. You have these characteristics, especially as a new grad, new hire, Gen Z, that make you extraordinary, and you have a specific talent, a vision, and a POV that literally money cannot buy, time cannot buy, experience cannot buy, and you can balance that with being both confident but not arrogant and willing to learn. And I feel like that is a healthier mindset to have, because yeah, let's get over imposter syndrome. We're canceling Imposter Syndrome 2023. We're all about growth and owning what you're good at and learning how you can improve. This goes to my next point. Personal branding at work is really important. It's your personality, it's the way you work with clients, the way you present, the way you make a deck, your emails, or you chat in the group chats and make things light and fun. So for me, I really hone in the fact that I'm a creator. I'm really in touch with a lot of the creator community. I know what they're talking about. I also have comms and and directions of different brands and what they're doing, and I have a pulse point and those things. And so I've kind of become that person of like, oh, Angelica is the Gen Z marketer at YouTube Marketing, or she knows all the hottest trends or how we can get people to do this. And oh, actually this reminded me of this article, or have you guys seen this TikTok or this meme, or there's this brand that's doing this activation, kind of serving as that value point at all times. People are gonna be like, oh yeah, let's ask Angelica what she thinks of this, or this reminds me of what Angelica said. Or maybe it's the one just always sending the funniest memes and just being such a great part of the team and coworkers, and all that stuff is also really important, like being a cultural builder as well. The more people at the workplace associate you with positive, easy to work with, charismatic, the easier it is when it comes to actually doing the hard work and asking for favors, collaborations, fast tracking things. It's all about literally like who you know. It's a little sorority high school-y. You get what I'm talking about. Of course, doing good work, like the baseline, like doing good work, I feel like is the minimum. Build your character, build your reputation. So building that brand about yourself at work, I feel like is super key, and it's gonna help you go a very, very long way. This one is gonna be a little hard for my type A go-getters, workaholics, kind of like myself, but your input at work is not always gonna match the output. No matter how hard you work, high visibility projects, the impact you drove, the things you led, all the fancy numbers and results, yay, success stories, does not always equate to the equal amount of output, whether it's a promotion, affirmation, title change, opportunities, stuff like that. All those things are kind of out of your control, whether it is politics, timing, economics, maybe it's just like social situations of reading the room, and also it could be something as random and political. You can only do your best to put your input in, but don't have that expectation if you put X in, you're gonna get Y out. The Y is gonna vary, and it's not gonna be proportional to the effort you put in and the impact you drove. And I know that's really shitty, to be honest, and it can be really discouraging, but it's one of those like life is not fair moments. But I will say, in the end, all your aggregate hard work, input, the talent, do not burn out trying to do so much of the input, striving for a certain output, because you can't control the output or how people are going to perceive the work, reward your career. So find that balance, lower your expectations. Know that one day all the fruits of your labor will catch up to you, whether it's your next job, your current position, maybe you're fast-tracked at a different timing or level, but it will all show up one way or another. It just might not be linear. Progress is not linear. Don't get discouraged. This is definitely advice I need to hear right now, especially for my eager, career excited, do everything right now, I'm gonna do the most and to impress everybody, new grads. It's gonna take time, be patient, it'll all work out. That being said, your job is not everything. I know this is honestly, again, I am preaching to the choir, like I am choir, I am me. Your job, the promotion, the pay that you get at work does not equate to how actually talented, actually smart, actually amazing you are. It's just a job at the end of the day. So I know quitting was like this big controversy going on, and I honestly thought there was nothing wrong with the fact of doing exactly what you're paid for, doing it well, and not overextending yourself, burning yourself out for outputs that you cannot control, which is the whole input output thing I mentioned. So I want you to take this time to do your best, build those relationships. If you're not learning in one ways, learn in other ways. It is just a job, and there's so much more to life than a job. And I know you can honestly build a dream life with your job, but that is not the only thing you can build your dream life with, if that makes sense. You are not a VP, you are not an executive, you are not paid, nor have the experience, or really nobody is asking for you to give you their heart and soul, because you are a new grad, and also you're just not an executive like that. You're just not being paid like that. So you do your best, do good work, set healthy boundaries, and take care of yourself. The next thing is the actual work about itself. I feel like this is gonna be a common frustration with new grads, because not every new grad job, and most new grad jobs are not gonna be your dream job. And even if it is your dream job, I'm at my dream job, I'm oftentimes not doing the work that I feel like is my fullest potential. But as a new grad, I really feel like you don't have to feel impatient about like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time, I'm not able to do what I can really do, I'm not showing them my full muscles. Like, that is out of your control sometimes, and you are there to learn and to execute a lot of times, and you can do different things to highlight different muscles of yourself. Just accept the expectation that you might not be doing the thing that you are just like destined to do, but remember, there is no rush. You are here to learn for different things, and you're gonna learn so many different things beyond what you really wanted to do and execute. And again, all about building that relationship with your leadership to be like, hey, I know I've been working on this, but I actually am really, really good at that, and I want to show you, is there any opportunities? Can I do a 20% project? Can I do a volunteer thing? All these things, or even just like putting together a little deck to show, I feel like could all help you kind of shape and start steering to the direction that you want. Other important skills you're gonna learn regardless: emailing people, building relationships with coworkers, your leadership, cross-functional partners, learning how to deal with work politics, how to get stuff done from A to Z, how to problem solve. These are universal things that I feel like are so important. And also, you're gonna learn how to build a life of your own as a new grad. And I think that is honestly the most important thing as a new grad. Which takes me to my next point. I would say take this time to build habits that are gonna set you up for success in your 20s. So maybe it means that you build healthy relationships with your work, maybe you start to build healthy relationships with your own life. So whether it's habits of working out, health, cleaning, self-care, mental health, all that stuff, set a routine and start practicing those things before you have honestly bigger responsibilities like children, a mortgage, or maybe you don't have pets yet. And so like start prepping your life for the life that you want to have. And I started working out regularly at the weekly schedule. I always work out on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I try to improve that. Every day I spend 10 minutes cleaning just a little bit, and then I try to do a deep clean on Saturdays. Stuff like that to help me feel less overwhelmed, but also build small micro habits. They say it's not about changing one big habit to make a change in your life. It's like, how do we do little micro doses of habits to change the bigger habit, if that makes sense? Take this time to work on yourself, especially when you have more freedom and also you're kind of in this like fresh start of your life. Lastly, you have to advocate for yourself. Honestly, this is really challenging as a new grad. I tried, we could talk about that another day, but I at least can say I've tried advocating for myself always, and how that is going to be matched or reciprocated or responded to, again, is out of your control, but at least you can say you've tried your best, you put together your thoughts, your case point, whether it comes to a promotion, a different opportunity. You want to start practicing doing that because only you really know all the work you've done, the impact you drove, and the things you really have done for the team and for the greater company. Everybody is on their own calendar and schedule and their own journey of advocacy. So when it comes to leadership and your own manager, it really needs to be very clear, organized, and be like, hey, I'm gonna package this together. This is what I've done, and I would love feedback. I would love even opportunities to explore for promotion or new opportunities or whatever it is. But it is your job to advocate for yourself first and package it in a way that no one else can deny. And after that, you've done your job and you leave it to the leadership, mentors to figure out what the next steps are. So I always encourage people, as scary as it can be, I get it. Like every time I talk about advocating for myself in real life, when I do it, it is terrifying, but I need to practice that muscle because no one else is gonna do it for myself. I feel like talking about the work you've done more important than the actual work you've done. Be clear, be confident, and be medium loud about the amazing things you're doing. I'm working on it myself, so I'll let you know how that journey goes. Honestly, this new grad advice video is kind of for myself, but your girl's been struggling, and hopefully talking about it is like giving the advice for myself that I need to hear, and it helps somebody out there too. That is it for today's coffee chat. If you're new to my channel, definitely subscribe. I make content as a new grad, career girly, corporate girly by day, influencer by night, and let me know what coffee chats you want to see next. Follow me on my other socials, and I'll see you all in the next one. Good luck!